I think all of us would share certain gifts that we receive from people who are important in our lives. Sometimes those gifts can have good material value, and sometimes they have good friendship value. A couple of years ago, I got this little plaque from a good friend of mine, Bernie, from Green Bay. And I have it on the front of my desk here in my office at St. Paul Seminary, and it reads, "Please let me drop everything and work on your problem." Obviously Bernie gave it as kind of a joke, but also recognizing the fact that I guess anybody in leadership gets lots and lots of complaints and wants answers immediately. And certainly I can recognize that same tendency in myself. And I was thinking about the message of this particular plaque, but especially as it bears truth in today's gospel. This is one of those beautiful Easter stories. And once again, where two disciples of Jesus have somehow failed to recognize him even as he is with them. And the problem with our two companions on the road to Emmaus in today's gospel is that they are so busy complaining that they fail to recognize Jesus. They're complaining because things didn't happen the way they thought they should. Yeah, didn't he tell us he was going to die and rise from the dead? And look, here we are, 2 days after it all happened, and he duped us. And we thought we had hope, but now hope has been dashed because he didn't fulfill the promise he made. And they were so busy about complaining that they didn't recognize that Jesus was with them. And not only that, when he began to describe, everything that was the fulfillment of his own life in the scriptures, even then they couldn't hear him. Didn't recognize who he was, and only until the breaking of the bread. And then their minds went back to what happened on Holy Thursday evening. I was thinking that before becoming too critical of those disciples on the road to Emmaus, don't we share their tendency? Isn't it true that lots of times in our lives we spend a great deal of complaining about why X, Y, or Z didn't happen to us, or why certain things did happen to us and did or didn't happen to other people? And in the midst of the complaining, we fail to recognize that whatever it is that we go through, God's always with us. And what a joy those two disciples experienced when they finally recognized Jesus. And what a joy there is for us when we recognize that we aren't alone, that God is in fact with us. And so today, as I reflect on that gospel, I'm going to be conscious of the times today when I'm going to be tempted to fulfill this plaque in my own life, to want to complain or want to get answers immediately. And when I recognize that the temptation's there, it will be an invitation for me to look to see just how close Jesus is to me. And maybe you can do the same thing. Maybe we can all be aware of how often we complain and how often we fail to recognize how much God is with us, how much he loves us, and how much he carries us through the difficulties in life. And then maybe, if we come to that realization, a realization that God is always with us, then maybe like this to the two disciples, we can do what they did. As soon as they saw Jesus in the breaking of the bread and recognized him, what did they do? They ran as fast as they could. They ran east. They ran towards the sun. They ran towards the light that is Christ. May you and I do the same.